Let's talk about a story of strategic ambition that's, well, quietly reshaping the entire global tech landscape. And no, it's not happening in Silicon Valley or Shenzhen. It's happening across the Indian subcontinent. This is the story of how a nation is building its digital future and maybe, just maybe, the world's, right from the ground up.
To really get what's going on, you have to appreciate the incredible scale of change here. I mean, in 2022, India's economy blew past the UK's to become the fifth largest in the world. A year later, in 2023, it officially overtook China as the planet's most populous nation. Now, these aren't just numbers on a chart. They are massive, seismic shifts that are setting the stage for a totally new kind of revolution.
But here's the real kicker. According to Stanford's 2024 Global AI Vibrancy tool, India is now the #3 AI nation on the planet. Yep. You heard that right behind the US and China. It's ahead of tech giants like the UK and South Korea. This isn't some future prediction. This is happening right now.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. How? How on earth did a nation with such huge developmental challenges manage to build a world-class AI ecosystem this fast? Well, the answer is an absolute masterclass in strategy. You see, it all starts not with some flashy new app or a billion-dollar startup. Nope, it starts with the foundation. India had this incredible foresight to focus on laying the digital tracks for its entire population first. They knew you have to build the roads before you can have any traffic.
So what are these digital tracks? They're two core systems. Aadhaar, which is a biometric ID system for over 1 billion people, and UPI, a universal payments interface. The easiest way to think about it is this. Aadhaar is the national ID for the digital age, and UPI is the payment system that connects literally every bank account and mobile phone. This was step one, and it was absolutely critical.
And here's where India turned what looked like a disadvantage into a superpower. Unlike developed nations that are burdened with decades of, legacy debt, all those tangled wires of old banking servers and clunky credit card systems, India had a clean slate. This let them leapfrog directly to a modern, mobile-first public infrastructure. No legacy systems, no problem.
This whole brilliant strategy has a name: the India Stack. It's basically a 3-layered public digital infrastructure. The bottom layer is identity. That's Aadhaar. The middle layer is payments. That's UPI. And the top layer is all about data. Now, the real genius here is that the government built this stack, but they made it completely open for any private company to come in and build innovative services right on top of it.
So, the most important point is this. India's model treats its entire digital ecosystem not as some private playground for tech companies, but as public infrastructure, a GovTech stack for everyone. It's like a public utility, and it's providing the foundation for everything: finance, healthcare, agriculture, all of it now powered by AI. Okay, so you have the infrastructure. Now let's get to the second key ingredient. Because this infrastructure, when you combine it with India's massive and incredibly diverse population, created the perfect fuel for its AI engine. First, just think about the complexity here. India has 22 official languages and hundreds of dialects. That's a potential Tower of Babel that could have been a huge barrier to technology, right? Instead, the government launched Bashini, a sovereign AI project with one goal: unite the country by creating language models for every single Indian language. And in solving that problem, India accidentally transformed its diversity into its greatest data asset. 1 billion voices, speaking hundreds of languages, created one of the richest, most diverse, real-world data sets on the entire planet. That is the raw material you need to train AI that is truly inclusive and understands human communication in all its beautiful nuance. And the results? Well, they're crystal clear. India is already the second largest market for ChatGPT, and it's on a path to become #1. India is no longer just the world's back office. It's the front-row audience for AI. And that sheer volume of users is acting like a gravitational force, pulling the entire global AI ecosystem eastward. So you've got the infrastructure, and you've got the data, but how do you actually light a fire under the market? Let's look at the totally unique business strategy that is just blitzscaling India's digital bazaar.
The business playbook here is a complete 180 from the West. While the US model is all about high-margin subscriptions, like $20 a month for an AI service, the India model is a pure land grab. Companies are partnering with huge distributors like telecom giants and offering AI services for free or pretty close to it. The goal isn't to make a profit today, it's to acquire 1 billion users tomorrow.
This is a really high-stakes game, and it's being fueled by a flood of venture capital.
Investors are more than willing to burn cash to subsidize these free services. Why? Because it's a race to build user habits and lock in a billion-person market. It's a game of attrition, where the players with the deepest pockets are trying to dominate this new frontier. What's really fascinating is that this has created a kind of division of labor you could call Silicon brains, Indian hands. US tech giants provide the core, the foundational models, the chips, the hardware. And meanwhile, you have this vibrant ecosystem of Indian startups building on the edge, creating localized apps that solve real-world problems for Indian users.
Now, let's just zoom out for a second, because this isn't just a domestic success story anymore. India is now packaging this entire playbook up and exporting it as a new model for the rest of the world.
That's right. India is exporting its blueprint. It's actively sharing its digital public infrastructure model with other nations, especially across the global south. Countries in Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, they're all looking at this as a way to build their own digital economies without becoming totally dependent on foreign tech giants.
And listen, this isn't some theoretical pitch. This system is proven at a colossal scale. We're talking over 200 billion transactions a year. That kind of reliability and efficiency is what's getting global attention from financial titans like BlackRock's Larry Fink, who are looking at this infrastructure and seeing the future of finance.
And the next frontier is already here, turning digital behavior into actual assets. Think about it. All that UPI transaction history creates this incredibly rich data trail. So data aggregators can analyze it to create credit scores for millions of unbanked citizens, giving them access to loans for the very first time. And this also lays the groundwork for tokenizing assets, which is a core initiative for India's central bank.
Ultimately, what you have to understand is that this is more than just technology. It's a sovereign response. It's a new path for nations to build their own digital sovereignty in the 21st century. It's a laboratory for creating new global standards and a powerful blueprint for development in the age of AI.
So, we're left with this final, really provocative thought. As India's digital blueprint starts to go global, offering a third way that isn't the American model or the Chinese model, are we witnessing the birth of an entirely new form of national power? One that's built not on armies or factories, but on open, scalable, and sovereign digital infrastructure? That's a question that is going to define the next decade.